I've always wondered after watching the end of Season 2 of The Walking Dead times and times again, what were Shane's true intentions towards Rick in the field scene? Did he really intend to kill him? Did he even want to? What was going on in his head? What does it mean about both characters and their relationship? Let's take a dive into these scenes to find the answers out.
So this is where you plan to do it?
As good a place as any.
At least have the balls to call this what it is. Murder. You really believe if you walk back onto that farm alone, no me, no Randall,
hush up.
you really believe they're gonna buy whatever bullshit story you cook up? That's just it, ain't no story. I saw that prisoner shoot you down. I ran after him. I snapped his neck. It ain't gonna be easy. But Lori and Carl, they'll get over you. They done it before. They just gonna have to.
So, what led those brothers in such a shattering situation? Let's refresh our minds. There's a clash of philosophies in the group that survived Atlanta. Rick, the de facto leader of the group, preaches understanding and mercy in a world where those traits get more and more scarce. Shane, his partner, tends to become more and more ruthless and reckless, advising Rick to take more difficult decisions when it comes to his morality in order to protect his family. Their family, in a way, especially because Rick's wife, Lori, had a thing with Shane in Rick's absence at the beginning of the series. After a long period of a spiraling down mental health and a more and more extreme behavior, Shane finally learns that Lori is pregnant, probably with his child. All of these elements lead Shane to plot the murder of Rick, his brother, his lifelong brother, to replace him as a father in his own family, believing that Rick doesn't have what it takes to protect his own. Now let's get to the scene, which is set at night in an isolated location. But it doesn't matter how dark the setting is, Shane will not be able to hide from his own monstrosity. As they enter this moonlit meadow, his darkest deed comes into light. The sole focus of this scene is on these two characters and their interaction. No sound, no music, no distractions. We're going to be able to hear every single breath that they draw. As they enter the field, there's a very awkward moment as Shane slowly distances himself physically from Rick, and the latter understands what is happening. Shane locks his focus on his partner, whom can feel the pressure behind his back. This is where the emotional weight of the scene is starting to weigh heavily on both men. Rick's voice cracks in rage when he calls out Shane's bullshit is very telling, but also Shane's mouth movements, who betray an emotional distress despite the fact that he tries to appear as composed as can be, as cold-blooded as can be. There's also this very interesting moment where Shane laughs about Rick's remark about burying the hatchet. It's what we call coming up for air, when the tension is too high and things are too grave and the emotional distress is too strong. You come for air by laughing a little bit, or doing anything that can relieve the nervousness. And the one line that throws his whole facade to the dust is when Rick says that he knows him and he won't be able to live with it.
What you know about what I can live with? You got no idea what I can live with, what I live with. You want to talk about what I can do, Rick? How about what you can do? Here I am. Come on, man, raise your gun. No, I will not. What happened, Rick? I thought you weren't the good guy anymore. Ain't that what you said?
And this is also the beginning of what makes this scene a very interesting and peculiar one. Shane's torn mind. It will constantly struggle to set itself between his morality / love for his partner and his dark intentions. Well, though it's important to note that it's not just the goodness of his heart that prevents him from taking action. It's also the fact that he doubts that anyone will believe his story afterwards. We have the first instance of his conscience taking the hold of him. He loses himself in justifications, and for the first time, he expresses his suffering. He also taunts his brother into proving him wrong, which is kind of a twisted win-win situation. If Rick murders him, he dies, but he's proven wrong, which is one of the outcomes that he would like to have. And in the same vein, Lori and Carl are as safe as can be. On the other hand, if Rick doesn't go through with it, he's kind of justified in his own twisted mind that he can murder Rick because he cannot make difficult decisions. In order to get under Rick's skin, Shane will not hesitate to talk about his family to taunt him at the most personal level possible. Because Rick is right. He cannot, at least in this moment, kill Rick in cold blood.
Thought you weren't the good guy anymore, ain't that what you said? Even right here, right now, you ain't gonna fight for him. I'm a better father than you, Rick. I'm better for Lori than you, man. It's because I'm a better man than you, Rick, because I can be here and I'll fight for it. But you come back here and you just destroy everything.
As long as he taunts Rick about fighting him back, not only does he give a chance for Rick to prove him wrong again, he also entices his partner to adopt a behavior that would justify his killing. Yeah, pretty twisted. The emotional nervousness is boiling within Shane. And Rick knows him. He doesn't fall in the trap and starts to de-escalate the situation by maintaining that he will remain unarmed. Shane's mind craves for this limbo zone where he can ease down and doesn't have to take action. Of course, both men recognize what is going on. They're both trained cops. Shane even has a smirk when he realizes that what is happening is proving him right, that Rick doesn't have the guts to kill him for the greater good. There's a very interesting moment as Rick slowly approaches where Shane's eyebrows relax and raise, and you can feel he's about to get teary before he gets a hold of himself. The emotional toll is still very high, until Rick stabs him. At that moment, the tension bursts. Rick, under overflowing levels of emotional distress, quickly distances himself from what he's done, looking away and screaming,
This is you, not me!
And directing anger towards his dying partner for making him do this. Shane, as he's dying, is in utter disbelief and shock. As he looks back and forth between Rick and his stab wound, he cannot believe what just happened. To add to that, there's an ambiguous hand trying to reach Rick's throat, as if Shane was trying to fight back in survival instinct and choke his partner. But it can also be confused by the dying man trying to reach Rick's face for help. As a trembling Rick touches Shane's face in horror, the latter draws his last breath, leaving Rick in shambles, howling to the night in pain. Same as his dead brother, Rick's thoughts are a whirlwind of contrasts. For the aftermath of this event, Rick will leave this field a changed man, asserting his authority in a brutal manner, ready to make those ruthless and snappy choices that his partner taunted him to do. He will thus be solidified as the leader of the group, uncontested, but much more stable than Shane would have been if he would have taken that place. I always found it pretty funny how Shane's vision of a strong protector and provider is very ironic. You're not strong enough to protect Lori and Carl, man. It's like, bro, you're the one who needs protecting right now. Lori and Carl are faring way better than you. It's the man that preaches for strength and making difficult decisions that is the weakest mentally and ends up not being able to make the difficult choice in the end. And the worst part about this is that there's a part of him that knows full well how hypocritical he's being right now.
I didn't keep Lori and Carl alive, man. They kept me alive.
Which means that he's semi-conscious about how delusional he is when he's talking about protecting the group. This is also why I disagree with people saying that Shane in season 5 of The Walking Dead would be in the perfect fit. No. Superficially, yes, but he would not be able to maintain that mindset without destroying his own mental health at lightning speed. I think this is the biggest misconception about Shane. I don't think he was necessarily fit for this world. In the end, Shane served as a narrative tool to change the main character and prepare him for the next seasons to come, thus marking a new era for the show. No more naivety, no more innocence, and no more shelters for the next seasons either. And being on the road in the Walking Dead world is a very cruel and difficult path to take. It will eat our group bit by bit, hence the need for ruthlessness more than ever now. With all those elements, we're now able to answer our initial questions. Did Shane intend to kill Rick? Yes. In his heart of hearts, did he want to do it? Clearly no. Was he capable of doing it? In that instant? No. As for what was going on in his head, this mix of belief that Rick is too weak with the fact that he doesn't think that anybody will believe his bullshit story, and with the remaining morality and love for his brother, created an emotional storm within him, which basically paralyzed him. And that spiraling down, coupled with the fact that he could not go to the end of the extreme that he chose to partake in, led to his death. Which, to be fair, probably was a big relief for him. So anyway, that was it for today. But we'll see each other again soon for another one.